Hello everyone, my name is SmoLCatzZ and welcome back to Superflat Survival. Today we're going to be working on our terraforming project, so let's hop right into that time lapse. Ooh, that was scary. Oh my goodness, I love the way this came out. This looks so good. We're gonna free camera way to kind of look at this terraforming, but look how good this looks. Like our little cliff and our little lake with a waterfall. And we ended up adding another pathway here up to the top, which actually cuts down into a little tunnel here. I'm really excited. This looks so good. We're gonna just keep adding to this and keep expanding the terraforming. It's just so funny because the scale of this looks so strange compared to the overall just flatness of the world, but at the same time, it looks amazing. I've managed to catch more pillagers, by the way. I'm so excited to see what this looks like once we're finally done with the back, since really the front is the only thing that's actually finished, but it turned out really, really well. Alright everybody, so we're here at our original mob farm that we built right at the beginning of this world. This is one of those pathfinding mob farms that basically use trapdoors to trick mobs into falling off the edge. Now this farm has worked great for us and... Oop, I'm out of rockets. This farm worked great for us. It basically did everything we needed. I actually even set up way down there, you can't really see it anymore, a sorting system for items, but there's a couple problems with this farm. So I'm gonna break into this a little bit and probably get attacked. No, that doesn't appear to be what I want. Let's go over here. This should be about the center. Yeah. So there's a couple problems with this farm. For one, it's really slow, and two, there you see it. We get glow squids from this farm. Now, I don't know about you, but I will never use the amounts of glow squid ink that we've gotten from this farm. Probably for as long as I play Minecraft, which will be as long as I live. We go down here, you can kind of see, I forget which chest it is. Yeah, this is just glow squid ink that I have from running this farm for about like an hour or two. It's actually crazy. The other problem is that because we're looting, we're getting all this junk, and we're not really getting enough mob drops. We also don't get string from this because we don't really get spiders. So I think we need to update. I want to get us a much better mob farm, one of the flushing platform kinds that you see a lot of people using. And I want to build it over there in the spawn chunks where it'll be running all the time. And we will have the ability to turn it off, but I'd like to basically set up one that is going to work better, it's going to be more efficient, and we're going to get more loot. So first things first is we need to take this down, because one of the reasons I want to change it and move it is because it's actually very ugly, and it's sort of in the way of our beautiful terraforming here. It's taking up too much space. I have to avoid getting it in all the screenshots. It's just a sad cobblestone box. So, yeah, let's get started. Oh my goodness, it's so nice not to have that giant, awful cobblestone box anymore. Now, obviously, we still have the old storage system sitting here. I'll take this down in a little bit, because I'm going to have to move all these items into my house. It'll take a little while, but so excited that that's done. So now we get to talk about something kind of fun, which is spawn chunks. So if you don't know what the spawn chunk is, I'm going to set this, I'm going to break this, just to make sure that I'm right. So a spawn chunk is part of the world that is always loaded. It's a 23 chunk by 23 chunk square, basically. And the game always has it loaded. Now, if you want to find your spawn chunks without having to look using a special tool, you basically can use a compass. Really fun. Compasses indicate where your spawn chunks are. So we're actually following exactly the compass. Hopefully this will... Oop, we passed it. Okay. So you saw how the compass whipped around like that. So it's this way. We're trying to find the exact block that... Oh, is it? It's this block here. So this is our spawn point, and this is in the spawn chunks. That's really fun. We're going to put a block of cobble there. So yeah, if we see how the compass is pointing back. Perfect. So this is a spawn chunk. We actually fought the Wither in the spawn chunks, as you can see, because this is part of what the Wither destroyed when we were fighting him, and I turned it into a pretty lake because I'm lazy and I didn't want to fill it back in. But yeah, this is the spawn chunk. Now, if we turn on F3 and G, we see this corner here. Perfect, perfect. And what we can actually do, I don't have the blocks on me right now, is what we can do is we can mark this whole chunk out, just using cobblestone or something. And then from there, we can count out our spawn chunks. But this is good to know. So basically in this general area, like 11 chunks that way, 11 chunks that way, 11 chunks that way, or 11 chunks that way, we can build our flushing mob farm and it'll always be running. No matter what, it'll run all the time unless we turn it off, which means we'll get tons of loot. So that's a super easy way in vanilla to find your spawn chunk. It's so helpful to be able to find your spawn point and therefore your spawn chunks. Moving forward, I want to build a bunch of other farms that I'd like to be able to leave running constantly and not have to worry about them. As well as building a mob switch so we don't have to have slimes anymore, and a mob switch needs to go in the spawn chunks. So super helpful little tip. But I think we're going to probably build... So this is 9 chunks out. I think we're probably going to put our flushing mob farm about here. So it's in the spawn chunks, but it's not in like a crazy place. So we'll mark this as here. This will be the center of our farm. And it should be constantly loaded for us. Really exciting.
Alrighty, so we're going to get started on our flushing mob farm. So we need to make some soul campfires. Campfires are actually a great choice to use for one of these mob farms, just as a way to kill the mobs. And soul campfires are probably the best choice. So soul campfires do way more damage than a normal campfire does, which makes the farm faster. The only problem with this method is that it won't kill witches. Witches will drink fire resistance potions whenever they're taking fire damage, so it won't work. If I had any wither roses, I would say that we could use wither roses to kill the mobs and it would do our work for us, but we don't, so, you know, we're going to use campfires. If I go to kill the wither again, I will get some wither roses and use those in the farm, but unfortunately, we don't have any. At least, I'm pretty sure we don't, because if we had any, I would have found them by now. And I haven't. It's not under flowers, so yeah, I don't think we have any. I wish we did. But yeah, we'll update the farm later, but we have a lot of materials. A lot of materials. I have a ton of smooth stone. I was grabbing some walls just now, because it'll just make our life a little bit easier. Our redstone box, we might have to craft ourselves some hoppers. We have 14 hoppers, that's plenty. We do not have enough chests though, so I think we're gonna have to make a few chests. Let's use some jungle wood for that. We can just make a ton of chests and we'll use them for other things. Need to put away some stuff. I have a whole bunch of junk in my inventory as usual. But yeah, between this and our redstone box and all of the sort of like miscellaneous things we have in here. Do we have them in... We do have wither roses. Forget it. We're doing wither roses. Alright, let's get some netherrack. I thought we had some from our fight, but I guess I was wrong. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put wither roses, I think, on soul sand. Now let's... It does work. Okay, perfect. So, fun thing is that soul sand... We'll get a block. I want a full-size block, yeah. Actually, not that one. That one's kind of hard to see. Trying to demonstrate something and it's not working. So, this is a full-size block. Soul sand, it's really hard to see. So, we'll F3 it. Right now, we're on minus 45. If we go onto soul sand, we're at minus 45.12. Oop. So we literally go down just a tiny, tiny bit, right? Literally a pixel. Which is good because if I remember correctly, we can actually use this to pick up items. So if we have this here, this, without on it, we should be able to throw an item on top of this block and have the hopper pick it up. Yep, it works perfectly. Alright, so now our farm will pick up witches. We'll kill witches and pick up the items with the soul sand and the wither roses. I could have sworn I'd had wither roses. I'm glad I do have them. But I think we have all the materials we need to build our farm. Alright, so our farm is done. It's actually running, which is great. We can use our free cam to see. Unfortunately, it is still spawning glow squids, but that's okay. But yep, oh, there goes the spider. One of the reasons, by the way, that this has this gaps like this is that so spiders can't climb up. But it's not spawning anything at the moment because I'm standing on it. So if we fly a little bit away, fly down. Still within render distance, but a little bit farther away. Oh my gosh, it's spawning so many bats though. But okay, there it goes. Yep, you can see there's some skeletons in here. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit here and I'm going to get rid of the slime spawning. I'm gonna basically do what I did over there and turn all of the slime chunks into path blocks because the slimes are taking up the mob cap, unfortunately. As for the bats, I really don't know what to do about the bats. I don't think I can fix it. The only thing I can imagine I could do is to create a passive mob cap somehow. I'm going to look into if there's a possibility of making a passive mob switch so that the bats stop spawning, because they are definitely messing with things. But yeah, nothing I can really do about it right now. Hopefully this chills out and we start getting some mobs. But yeah, it is done. It's so satisfying to hear dying mobs. Look at them go. Aw, poor things. They never stood a chance. But this is great. We're getting loot. Unfortunately, we're still getting glow ink because of the glow squids. Also, the glow squids are falling off the back of the farm. So glow ink is sort of raining, but that's fine. So right now we're getting really, really good rates. We could be getting better rates. Once I get rid of all these slimes in this area, our rates will be much improved. But yeah, just standing right here, getting lots of mobs. So here come another group. Look at them falling down. Look at them go. It's so satisfying, and it's very funny because when they have armor on, it takes them even longer. The other nice thing about this farm is we're not going to get player kill drops, so they're not going to drop like armor and things like that because it's a passive kill, not a player kill. But look at them go. So
We should get witches from this, creepers, zombies, skeletons, and apparently we'll be getting glow squid. But this farm is great. So shout out to Voltrox for this farm design. I will link their video in the description so that you can go and see yourself how to make this. Honestly, this is super easy. It's just really heavy on building blocks, but that's to be expected when you're making 10 levels of mob spawning platforms. But again, really awesome design. Is working really well. Other than raining glow squid ink, it's perfect. And honestly, I would say that's not like a fault of the farm, whatever. It is a factor of this being a super flat world. We are low enough in the world right now that glow squids spawn, and that's just the nature of it. So we're gonna get glow squids pretty much no matter what we do whenever we have a flowing water farm. But again, not at all an issue of farm design, simply an issue of game design. But I think that's going to be everything for today, folks. It was a really fun episode. We got a lot of stuff done. I'm very excited by our new mob farm. I'm excited to get more loot, and also to not have the giant ugly cobblestone box right in front of my beautiful terraforming. But hopefully, when we're back in the next episode, we're going to be building even more cool things, increasing our terraforming. And, you know, who knows? Maybe there'll be some surprises. You'll see. But thank you all so much for watching. I've been SmoLCatzZ. Have a great night. Oop, there's a witch! There she is!